everybody, and welcome into today's episode of Around the Slice. And welcome to the third annual Buffalo Bills season review show. It's hard to believe that it's already the third year in a row of me doing the Buffalo Bills season review show here on Around the Slice. Now, listen, I know it's not the result we all wanted, including obviously myself getting bounced again right before the Super Bowl for like the fourth or fifth year in a row. It sucks, it really does. But there's so many great things to talk about this team with the 2024 season. So many great things to still reflect on, so many memories. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So this is officially the Around the Slice Buffalo Bills 2024 season review show. Now, first, the Buffalo Bills, as we all know, went 13-4. It's a little fun exercise to kind of keep us upbeat and positive. I like to rank the Buffalo Bills season on this review show, all 13 wins, one being the most satisfying and biggest win in my opinion, and 13 being kind of so we won, but like I kind of forgot about it. So yeah, let's just get started with that. I will go through obviously say the ranking, say what week it was, and say what team we beat, and then a little blurb / explanation, if you will, of why I have it placed there. My number one, in my opinion, the most satisfying win for the Buffalo Bills in the 2024 season was versus the Chiefs week 11 when we beat them 30-21, and that is because beating the Chiefs is always satisfying and a huge accomplishment, no matter where it is, Buffalo or Kansas City or vice versa, no matter when it is, preseason, regular season, postseason, I don't care. The Kansas City Chiefs are one of my most hated sports football franchises in general of all time now. And listen, I know you're going to say, well, they can't do it when it matters. Well, they can't do this against the Chiefs. Well, Patrick Mahomes this, Josh Allen that. Forget all that. Like, drop all that nonsense for now because I don't care if it's only in the regular season. Beating the Chiefs is always a great thing in my opinion. Postseason, different story. Regular season, always satisfying. Number two, second most satisfying win for me out of the 13. At Dolphins week 2, 31-10. As you see, absolute obliteration. I placed it there because beating a division rival is always extra special. You can never take it for granted, especially when it's in pure domination like it was this particular week 2. Again, 31-10 by 21 points. That's multiple scores by 3 scores. Beating a division rival is one thing, guys, but beating a division rival in pure domination, pure like obliteration fashion is just really, really nice, and you can rub it in the opposing fan bases. And honestly, the Dolphins fan bases, like, respectfully, they can all shut their mouths when it comes to like trash talk about the Bills because one, they haven't won a playoff game in God knows how long, 25, 26 years it is by now. Two, Josh Allen owns the Dolphins. I mean, he's basically just their parental guardian at this point. I mean, I don't see any other way how. So, I mean, Josh Allen just absolutely obliterates the Dolphins every time. Number 3, so I got 2 Dolphins wins sandwiched back-to-back here. Number 2 is the week 2 win. And number 3 versus Dolphins at home in Buffalo week 9, 30-27. Now, obviously, this was not in the obliteration fashion of week 2. First of all, it doesn't matter how. If you beat a division rival by 3, if you beat a division rival by 21, or if you beat some other team by 14 or 50. It like that doesn't matter. I don't give a crap how they do it. Just do it. But what I literally wrote down here is significant because Tyler Bass's 61-yard game-winning field goal. That's it. That's all I had written down. That speaks volumes because, number 1, Tyler Bass was really struggling the first half of the season before this. Weeks 1 through 8, he really struggled. Number 2, tons of doubters the whole world. No one bigger than myself. I said Tyler Bass has got to get it together. I don't know about his future with the team. That's not in doubt anymore. He comes in, drills a 61-yarder. So, quick little kind of like personal story here. Me, my dad, my brother, it's like our little Sunday tradition, no matter when they play, 1 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 4:25, 8:20, 8:30, whatever. We watch the games all together. We've never missed a single game together. All 3 of us right there in front of the TV. The reason I want to do that little personal story is because we literally said out loud, he ain't making this. I think it was the first I literally was the first one to say, yeah, Bass ain't making this. Have you seen him the last 3 or 4 weeks? Been really shaky. And then he drills. I mean, it would have been good from 71, 72 yards. I mean, that guy, although his accuracy issues, he has some legs. So, again, beat the Dolphins 30-27, but especially the fashion we beat them. A walk-off, end of game, however you want to look at it. Game-winning field goal, 61-yarder by Tyler Bass. Number 4 versus the 49ers, week 13, 35-10. Although it is an NFC, not rival, but although it is an NFC team, one, it was in Buffalo, but most importantly, we clinched our 5th straight AFC East. We mean the Bills. We clinched our 5th straight AFC East division title with this win, and we clinched it in dominating fashion, 35-10. I mean, it was really just really special. I mean, Josh Allen became the first quarterback in NFL history ever to have a passing, rushing, and receiving touchdown all in the same game. So yes, you heard that right. A passing touchdown, rushing touchdown, receiving touchdown. Josh Allen, all in the same game. First QB in NFL history to ever do it. So 5th straight division title, beating the Dolphins in primetime Sunday Night Football. And it was the day after my birthday. My birthday was November 30th. I had turned 21 at that point. So, yeah, my 21st birthday was November 30th at this point, and December 1st was the game. So that was kind of extra special surprise, too, winning our 5th straight division with still 5 games to go. That's just how horrible and disappointing the rest of the AFC East was. Patriots are expected to be horrible, but, Jets, disappointed. Dolphins, severely disappointed. So we ran away with this division, whether you like it or not. Number 5. At Lions, week 15, 48-42. I mean, this was an absolute shootout. Josh Allen went off. Jared Goff went off. Both defenses sucked. Lions defense was banged up. Bills defense wasn't banged up, but they sucked pretty much. But my reasoning for this was a battle. I know the Dolphins lost in the division round to the Commanders, okay? I get it. But at the time, this was a battle of 2 NFL juggernauts and a very likely potential Super Bowl preview at the time. Plus, with a bonus, Josh Allen turned into an absolute freakazoid this game. Yes, I made up that word, freakazoid, because he really was. There's no other way to explain it. He had a 3-game stretch here against the 49ers week 13, the Rams week 14, although it was a loss, the Lions week 15. Absolute freakazoid stuff. So, yeah. Honestly, 1 through 5, Chiefs, Dolphins, Lions, 49ers, Lions. You could order them however you want and say, Aiden, here you go. Oh, yeah, it doesn't matter. It matters, but, the order to me doesn't matter. Those top 5 really cement themselves. I'm not saying the rest of these 6 through 13 or so aren't, important or significant, but those are easily the top 5. That's just how I order them. Number 6. This might seem random because it was really early in the season. It was week 3, and people might barely remember it, but versus Jaguars week 3, we absolutely obliterated their 47-10. Josh Allen and Sean McDermott have historically struggled against the Bills. Easily the most embarrassing and worst loss in the Sean McDermott / Josh Allen era is when we lost 9-3 to the freaking Urban Meyer, that freaking just brain dead head coach. 9-3 in 2021 early in the season. So and then that horrible botched London trip by Sean McDermott last year in 2023. We also lost 25-19, I think it was, but we got our revenge here in a monster way. So finally defeating the Jaguars was really refreshing. Plus this was Monday Night Football, and fun fact, this was on September 23rd, which this was my brother's birthday. I don't reveal his age on here, but this was my brother's birthday. So it's kind of funny how 2 dominating wins are around birthdays. On my brother's birthday, we beat the Jaguars 47-10. Then way later in the season, week 13, the day after my own birthday, we beat the 49ers to win our 5th division title 35-10. It's just fitting. So finally beating the Jaguars and that dominant in primetime is always a great feeling. You never want to disappoint in primetime. The whole freaking city, not even city, the whole freaking nation, whole freaking country is watching you. People from all around the world, even Europe, Australia, other countries that football is becoming bigger in. Not like soccer, American NFL football. At Jets, number 7, at Jets week 6, We beat them 23-20. Don't ask me how this was so much closer than it was, but I kind of want to give some background and kind of like lead up to this game, because this was a must-win game for us, mainly because we were struggling coming into the game. We were coming off 2 straight losses. We had just got absolutely obliterated by the Ravens week 4, 3-1, and then we lost a close one because of Sean McDermott and Joe Brady's stupid play calling and disaster coaching display in week 4. So we were 3-2. So getting back on track with a win was a good feeling. Like, it felt great, like a sigh of relief. Like, okay, we're back. That was a 2-game hiccup. The Bills always have this like 2 or 3 game hiccup, 2-game mainly every year, where it's like, oh my God, freak out. Like, we're panicking, including myself. And like, what are we doing? But if they get back on track, it's just go through some growing pains, give or take. So, and then beating a division rival always feels good, especially when it's against Aaron Rodgers. My relationship watching Aaron Rodgers is not very good because I personally can't stand Aaron Rodgers. So my little brother's favorite team is the Packers. So when he was in Green Bay all those years, even before my little brother was born, even before my little brother was old enough to become a true Packers fan, I really liked Aaron Rodgers. Like, I actually thought he was great. Obviously, he won back-to-back MVPs in 2020 and 21, so I thought he was awesome. But then he went to New York. He just became like I don't want to say like a pompous jerk, but he kind of did. He just became like dramatic. He became about me. He went on Pat McAfee's show every freaking Tuesday because he got to talk about God knows what. Who cares? And then he has this stupid Enigma disaster documentary, if you want to look at it, tournament on Netflix. I don't care to watch that. I might watch it just to make fun of it. But yeah, I personally can't stand Aaron Rodgers. He's become very arrogant, annoying, dramatic, drama queen, all those dramatic adjectives he's become. So it's always great. At Seahawks week 8. So this is actually number 8 and week 8. At Seahawks week 8, we dominated 31-10. So a little background about myself, another personal story. A lot of these wins are tied to personal stories, if you can't tell, because there's a lot of like 13 win memories and stuff. One of my very good friends and buddies, is a Seahawks fan. So he actually, and his mom's a Bills fan. So that goes well. He actually went all the way across the country to Seattle to watch this, him being a Seahawks fan again, and his mom, again, being a Bills fan. They went to see this game, and I could rub it in his face because the Bills dominated 31-10. He actually wasn't even mad about the loss, funny enough. Quick sidebar, he just wanted Geno Smith off the team, but that's besides the point. My reason for this placing here was cross-country road trips are always dicey. I mean, yeah, we had a shooter against the Rams, but somehow lost later in the season. But we showed up and flat out dominated. Like, we didn't just win and escape a cross-country road trip. We freaking I don't want to swear. We freaking dominated, boy. We let loose on that one. And bonus, I got to rub it in my friend's face for the rest of the season. I still do to this day. I think it's funny. So anyway, there's that. Number 9 placement. He's another one of these Jets ones. Versus Jets week 17, 40-40. I mean, this team was just, I'll get to it, but the Jets had a pretty miserable and dysfunctional season in 2024. One, Robert Saleh, not a good coach at all, in my opinion, but Woody Johnson fired him like literally after they got home from London. Horrible timing. That started the dysfunction. They lost the locker room, and then there's that dramatic jerk Aaron Rodgers. I'm sorry, that's harsh. I just don't know how other way to put it. And then the report comes out that Woody Johnson, 16-year-old grandson, makes key football decisions and tells the general manager and head coach what to do and makes key personnel decisions. Okay, like, what? And then it also comes out that Woody Johnson was full go, ready to trade with the Jets, with the Broncos for Jerry Jeudy, but then he saw his Madden rating was too low, so apparently he nixed it. What kind of owner lets his 16-year-old grandson run the show? And even worse, what kind of owner bases personnel decisions and trade markets and what they're going to do off of freaking stupid, Madden ratings? give me a break. Like, the Jets are a complete dysfunctional clown show. So putting them out of their misery at this point in week 17 was just a sweet feeling. Like, these guys were dead at this point. Like, they're young stars, Breece Hall, Garrett Wilson, Sauce Gardner, Will McDonald. Like, they're all just shocked on. I don't blame them at all. Just, it's a complete circus, complete clown show over there. I don't even know what to think of Aaron Rodgers anymore. He looks like he's a crippling old man at this point. I don't know what to say. And then number 10, versus Patriots week 16, 24-21. I do think Drake May gave them some life, but this was really, really stupid how we only won by 3. But again, the Patriots are arguably my most hated franchises of all time. I didn't mind the Jets before Aaron Rodgers, so no, I can't stand them. So those hated football franchises of all time are like in no particular order. I'm just throwing some out there. Obviously, the division rivals, Dolphins, Patriots, Jets, probably in that order. But Chiefs are easily number 1. But I'll never take for granted beating the Patriots, no matter how good or bad they are. Tom Brady and Bill Belichick and the Patriots, I know most of them aren't there anymore, they tortured and humiliated us, for 20 straight years. So it's about damn time we start ripping off these 5-6 wins in a row against the Patriots all these years. I don't care how good or bad they are, Rather, I'd never take that for granted. Number 11 win. This feels like an eternity ago, but versus the Cardinals week 1, we won 34-28. I don't know how to describe the Cardinals. I think they were a little more pesky. Is plucky the word? Maybe. I don't know if I'm using that right. I think they were a little more plucky than we thought they would be this year. So we won 34-28. This was a comeback win, which built team character and morale right off the bat in week 1. So right off the bat, we were good to go week 1. And then 12-13, I never want to discount wins, but like 12-13 at Colts week 10, we won 30-20. The Colts had a pretty underwhelming season in 2024, all things considered, everything put into it. Anthony Richardson was terrible, unfortunately, sadly, to my dismay. So this win felt kind of empty and hollow. Same thing with the Titans week 7. When we won 34-10, the Titans are an extremely dysfunctional franchise. They can never decide on head coach or GM, especially GM. So this win, same thing, felt hollow. So anyways, those are my 1-13. Once again, you can satisfying wins and stuff. You can order ranking the Bills wins. You can order the top 5 from the 2024 NFL season, however you would like. And if you said, Aiden, this is what you got, then I wouldn't complain. Position grades. So let's start with QB. I'm not counting Mitch Trubisky, not counting Shane Buechele, not counting Mike White, because fortunately we haven't seen any of those terrible guys. Josh Allen, I'm going to give him an A+. Yes. But number 1, by the way, I should have said this right off the top, mother effing, I won't say the whole word, but mother effing Josh Allen just won your AP 2024 NFL MVP. Let that sink in for a minute. MVP. From 0-star recruit out of high school at Firebaugh, California, to having the email 1,000 coaches and coordinators across the country, having to go to Ridley Community College for a couple years. Then his only offer coming out of that even was Wyoming for the last couple years, to NFL MVP, straight dog. Anyway, getting that off my chest, I'm going to give Josh Allen, QB, A+ this year. He took the cheese, if you will. He took the checkdowns. You could tell a bunch of times where he wanted to go downfield. Old Josh Allen last year, the year before, a handful of years before that, would have chucked it downfield and say, well, damn, crap, someone's down there somewhere. He took what was there. He was looking deep ago up down. He's like, nah, I'll just have a little short shuttle pass to Donkey, clear scare, and let them maybe work after the catch and see what happens. So I think this is the most mature Josh Allen we've ever gotten in terms of mature QB play, digging the checkdowns, not making bonehead decisions. Like, guys, I don't think people realize this. Josh Allen was only sacked, intercepted. Okay, so Josh Allen only committed sacks, interception, and fumbles on 4.2% of his plays. That is literally the most, how do I word this? That is literally the best season a QB has ever had in terms of protecting the football statistically. No one is talking about this. When everyone said last year and a handful of years before that, well, Josh Allen's turnover prone. He can't throw single digit interceptions, this and that. But then when he only throws 6 interceptions and no fumbles, everyone says, well, that's cool, man, but can he win a Super Bowl, Like, no. Like, if you're going to make fun of him for being a turnover machine, then applaud him for not being a turnover machine. Let me reiterate the stat. He was only sacked and only committed interceptions and fumbles on 4.2% of his plays. Literally the best season for a quarterback in terms of protecting the football in NFL history. Like, bar none, Josh Allen, put your stamp on it. There it is. I'm going to give this A+. I don't think the whole, protecting football thing is getting nearly enough credit and shine, if you will, as it should. Running back, I'm also going to give an A+. I've been on record saying multiple times this year, I love James Cook coming into the year, but he wasn't a yards after contact guy. He would get a lot of yards before contact, but as soon as he got hit, going down, unfortunately. This year, looked like he put on 5 to 10 pounds of muscle and really kept working at that yards after contact and really kept working after he got touched and contacted for the first time. And running the position as a whole, Ty Johnson, way better than I thought he would be, way more contribution. And Ray Davis, way better than I thought he would be as a 4th-round pick. So, I love the running back rotation from Todd Brown, from James Cook, and then Ty Johnson and Ray Davis. All of them got going and how they utilize Sledge at fullback in terms of those tush pushes and blocking schemes and our elite zone rushing defense. We were literally a top 5 zone rushing offense in the league this year, up there with the Eagles and Saquon Barkley and Jalen Hurts, up there with Lamar Jackson, the Ravens, and Derrick Henry. It was really outstanding to see. So A+ for quarterback, A+ for running back. Wide receiver, this is the big controversial one. I'm going to give it, this was kind of tough for me. I'm going to give it a B- personally because I thought it was a tick below average. I think fun fact, we were 11th in yards after catch this year. Correct me if I'm wrong here, but in 2022, we were 32 in yards after catch, dead last. 2023, same thing. 2021, we were 29 or 30. 2022, 32nd, dead last. 2023, same thing, same story, same everything. 32, second league. Dead last. This year, 11th. That's better than middle of the pack, right outside the top 10 bubble. Matt Collins, Brandon Thalby, Khalil Shakir was awesome. Curtis Samuel was a dud. Keon Coleman, he's supposed to be this contested catcher, 50-50 ball skills guy with great, reliable hands, great yards after catch guy, and he really struggled attacking the ball in the air. So I'm going to give this a B- because I think we sorely missed that vertical, you can't catch me, blow the doors off the defense type that can separate and get open downfield with ease. And the Bills have not really had this, so I'm going to give it a B-. Tight end, I'm sorry this might sound very harsh, but I'm going to give it a C-. I wanted Dawson Knox to be utilized more once Kincaid just wasn't it. And don't tell me Kincaid had an injury. I understand, guys. He missed 3 or 4 games, 25% of his season. That computes to pretty much. And I understand, give him some grace for that. Okay, fine. But before that, he was pretty I'm not going to say terrible. He had some pretty underwhelming moments. And the thing I go back to is did Dalton Kincaid ever take over a game where you're oh my God, the Bills just won that game because of Dalton Kincaid? Ooh, look at him out there. Look at him go. Sorry, but the answer is no. That never happened, materialized to anything. I'm going to give tight end position a C- this year. They drafted Dalton Kincaid. I was excited. Everyone was oh my God, let's go, man. They're going to do 12% on 2 tight end sets. They won't be able to cover Josh Allen with both of these tight ends. Well, that's gone horribly. They just can't be on the field together, Knox and Kincaid, respectively, that is. It's got to be one or the other. And, unfortunately, right now, I don't see much difference in Kincaid and Knox. So, C-. Offensive line, damn, another A+ here. Left tackle, Deion Dawkins, superb franchise left tackle. Left guard, David Edwards. And then center, Conor McGovern. Right guard, Cybo, Cyrus Torrance. And then right tackle, Spencer Brown, franchise right tackle. So Edwards, McGovern, from left to right, respectively. Cybo, Osiris Torrance. If you don't talk about those big mollies in the middle, what I mean by that is if centers and guards aren't talked about, that means they're doing a really good steady job anchoring and stuff. The only reason they're talked about is because bashing them. Oh my God, they get obliterated in the run game and pass game. Like Osiris Torrance is a game wrecker in the run game. Connor McGovern, perfect no snap issue game wrecker in the pass game. And David Edwards is really good at both, especially on those zone rushing attacks. And then I love how they use that tackle wrap play and use pullers with Dawkins, and then the development of Spencer Brown, where like they have him on islands 1-on-1 with some of the best pass rushers in the league over the last couple of years. And it's really encouraging to see his development. So yeah. And then defensive line, you know how I feel about this group. I'm C-. I'm combining defensive tackle and edge / defensive end / pass rush. They didn't do anything. You know how I feel about Ed Oliver. Really disappointing season. Greg Rousseau, for the most part, good season, but he had stretches where he's inconsistent. AJ Epinesa, nothing more than a third or fourth rotational pass rusher, third rotational guy at best. And then the three like old, washed-up defensive tackles that I don't want to see back at all. Jordan Phillips, Austin Johnson, Quentin Jefferson didn't provide anything. Run defense was horrible all year with the defensive tackle group, interior of the D-line. And then the pass rush group, other than Rousseau, no one stepped up for anything. I'm sorry to say this, but I can't wait for the day when Von Miller is actually cut. So C- for D-line. Very extremely underwhelming. Linebacker, I'm going to give a B+. Matt Milano missed the first 12 weeks of the season. Comes back week 13 against the 49ers. Never really got going those last 4 or 5 games of the season, give or take. But in the playoffs, I thought he was outstanding, superb, flying around, coverage. Terrell Bernard, as consistent as they come, one of the most underrated linebackers and players in general in the league, in my opinion. He's so good at tackling. He's so good at coverage responsibilities. And then Dorian Williams, what a development. Like, he flies around the field and racks up those tackles. Now, yes, he's pretty subpar, pretty liability and coverage still. But he's getting there. He has his moments. So I'm going to give it a B+, just because our superstar linebacker and Matt Milano missed the first 12 weeks of the season. And then Dorian Williams is pretty good for the most part, just has coverage lapses. And then Terrell Bernard, no complaints. So B+ for linebackers. Corner, I'm going to give a B. I really like the development of Jamarcus Ingram. He's kind of like a mini Cam Lewis in a way, like in terms of not in terms of age, but in terms of play style, we can line up a slot corner, outside corner, and safety. I think his best position is a true boundary outside corner. But in a pinch, he can line up those other 2 spots just like Cam Lewis can. But unfortunately, Christian Bedford is the only really good and consistent one here. Rasul Douglas, the ball skills were just totally gone. He had a bunch of interceptions in pick sixes with the Bills last year when he came from the Packers. No more ball hawk from him. He really showed his age, in my opinion. He looked really slow and old. I am not advocating one bit to bring him back. And then Kerry Elam, unfortunately, every time he's out there, it just looks like a complete disaster. I am ready to call him a bust. It's been 3 seasons. He's a bust, guys. So, B. Christian Bedford, and then what else? Safety, B-. Taylor Rapp. I said Taylor Rapp last year. I really liked him as a tackler, a physical tackler, but his coverage in 2023 is spotty, to say the least. He really upped his coverage this year, guys. So I really am encouraged by that. And then Damar Hamlin, he's just a serviceable starter, not a high-end starter, and not someone who's a preferred starter. He's just sufficient, serviceable enough, in my opinion. I think he slowed down as the season went on. Thought he had a really rough playoff, specifically against the Chiefs. So he got burned multiple times in that game. Damar's always where it's supposed to be, but he misses a lot more tackles than I would like. Tackles, than I would like. And Cole Bishop, in my opinion, is just not nearly there yet, and only a rookie. And then Cam Lewis is kind of a tweener, although I think his best is safety. So I'm going to give this safety room a B-. Taylor Rapp was really good, but the rest of the guys were inconsistent and rookies, and kind of a tweener, and Cam Lewis at corner and safety. And then head coach Sean McDermott, I'm going to give a B+. He did have a couple, 2 or 3 few blunders here and there, but for the most part, he was really good. Everyone doubted the team, and just, I don't get it. People just over the top hate, so B+. Offensive coordinator Joe Brady, I'm going to give an A. He got it cute in the Texans game and specifically in the Ravens game with that stupid trick play week 4 that kind of stalled our momentum. We were trying to come back from a 14-point hole at that point. So got a little too cute with this play calling. I'm really surprised, but also very extremely elated and excited and happy. Positive adjective, whatever. That he's back. A, defense coordinator Bobby Babbitt in his first year. I'm going to give a B minus. I feel like he failed to get the pass rush going at any point. I have no issues with his personnel other than the pass rush. He blitzed when he shouldn't have blitzed a lot, and he brought corner blitzes when he shouldn't have, and he didn't blitz when he should have, and he failed, in my opinion, too often. He failed with in-game adjustments. Special teams coordinator Matthew Smiley, I'm giving a flat-out D. No clue why this guy's back. No idea. The only reason I'm not giving it F is because Brandon Gadrington was very good and close to housing a few kicks/punt returns, give or take in the season. So I'm going to give it a D. But Matthew Smiley was rough. Awards. This is my favorite part of the show. Every single year, I'm going to give out awards. First, we're going to start with MVPs. Offensive MVP. How could it not be Josh Allen? There's no one else really I consider for this award. Maybe James Cook, but not over Josh Allen. Here are Allen's stats. 63.6% completion percentage. Okay, that's a tick below league average. League average is about ideally 65, 66%. So a couple points below league average, but 3,731 yards. Again, that's because he didn't reach the 4,000-yard mark past year in 2024, because he was more mature and taking checkdowns and not chucking it deep for no reason. And then 28 touchdowns and only 6 interceptions, which again, a storyline that's not being talked about nearly enough, in my opinion. And on the ground, 531 rushing yards, 12 rushing touchdowns, a lot of tush pushes and goal line carries, and 1 receiving touchdown when Amari Cooper pitched it back to him in the playoffs. I mean, what more can you playoffs? In the 49ers game to clinch the division, what more can you say about our man Josh Allen? NFL MVP, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen. Defensive MVP, Christian Benford. No one else is in consideration like at all for this award, unfortunately. Benford sacks, 64 tackles, 1 sack, 2 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, 10 pass deflections, 4 run stuffs, which run stuffs are either tackles for loss or stuffs right at the line for no gain. He's a very physical corner. He can play very well in man. He can play very well in zone. He can play very well in dime. He can play very well in hybrid defense. Whatever you want him to do, he'll do it. Now, you might say, Aiden, only 2 interceptions. Defensive MVP only has 2 interceptions. Christian Benford. Well, yeah, that's because opposing offenses are putting QBs not like, oh boy, I better not go at CB over there, Christian Benford. He doesn't get a ton of interceptions, 4, 5, 6 interceptions along high up there, because no one really targets him. Like, he doesn't get his hands on the ball because he's not targeted. Everyone knows not to try that boy. So yeah, that's why he only has 2 interceptions. So defensive MVP, Christian Benford. Most underutilized player in my opinion, rather, excuse me. This player needs more love. This player should have been used way more, and that is tight end Dawson Knox. He only had 22 receptions for 311 yards and 1 touchdown. It felt like every time he touched the ball, he provided awesome yards after catch ability. And once they realized Dalton Kincaid just was being very underwhelming before injury, after injury, through injury, Dawson Knox easily needed to be in the field way more, in my opinion. Then shame on Joe Brady and Sean McDermott for not realizing that. Rookie of the year. I'm going to tell you right now, this was not a good rookie class. And if your 4th-round pick, Ray Davis, is your best one, yikes. But I'm going to give Ray Davis Rookie of the Year. 113 carries, 442 yards, 3.9 yards per carry. Okay, that's kind of down because he has a lot of those muddy runs. It's just a physical bowling ball nature. 3 rushing touchdowns, 17 receptions for 189 receiving yards, and 3 receiving touchdowns. I said before the year, I believe I even said that on this podcast, and it came up in conversation with some people, family members, friends, and whatnot, what have you. I said, if we get 400 yards from scrimmage, rushing, receiving combined from Ray Davis, cool. You got 442 rushing and 189 receiving. That's a little over around 442. That's around 600 yards combined, give or take, from scrimmage. He even provides some nice steady kick return ability. That's Rookie of the Year right there, Ray Davis. Now we get to some fun awards. fun names here. Houdini Award. This is a player that would be absolutely dominant and show up big time for 2 or 3 games in a row, then totally disappear and be very inconsistent in the next 2 or 3 games, and then come up, be dominant, disappear, do it all over again. Same damn cycle over and over. And that is unfortunately defensive end Greg Rousseau. Some really dominant moments, but some 2 or 3 game stretches were like, where are you, man? In the playoffs against the Chiefs, hello, 53 tackles, 8 sacks. Guys, I've accepted at this point that the Bills need a number 1 game record pass rusher like Trey Hendrickson, Myles Garrett, or Max Crosby from the Raiders, rather. So you might say Greg Rousseau is a game record. No, he's not, in my opinion. He's a high-end starter, maybe mid to high-end starter, but he's not a true game record. He's not a true like 10 or 11 double-digit sack guy. I think we'll always settle in 7 or 8, maybe 9 sacks in a really up year, really great year. So he only had 8. 3 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery, 3 pass deflections, 15 run stops, which again means like literal tackle for loss or run or stop, whatever you want to call it, at the line of scrimmage. So, like I like Greg Rousseau, but he's not that game wrecker. He gets the Houdini Award, unfortunately, just because game wrecker, dominant for 2 or 3 games, and then disappear for a stretch of games, then come back and do it all over again. Next, I got your back award. This isn't stats related or anything. This is just like, who is that one guy that feels like Josh Allen's bodyguard? Who is that one guy that will mix it up no matter what? If someone pushes Josh Allen, well, you better not do that, because this guy will push you right back. He'll punch you in the mouth, literally and figuratively. He will stand up for his QB through and through, and this guy has become a franchise right tackle. It's no other than Spencer Brown. He's a big, brute, hulking right tackle. Really, really huge guy and an extremely high athlete. So I got your back award, Spencer Brown. He'll mix it up with the defensive lineman, man, if they like get in Josh Allen's face. That's what I love about him. Mr. Consistency Award. I'm going to give this to an offense player and a defensive player. Maybe this guy isn't the most flashy on offense, or this guy isn't the most athletic in the world, doesn't have the most burning speed in the world, isn't the biggest take the top off downfield threat in the world on the field. But Mr. Consistency for offense goes to wide receiver Khalil Shakir. His stats were as follows: 76 receptions, 821 receiving yards, and 4 receiving touchdowns. I really, really encourage, like, they found their slot from years to come, and he's going to ballpark get an extension on $18 to $20 million a year this offseason. Got to lock that up, especially with the concerns about receiver and aging Amari Cooper, aging Matt Collins, and Khalil Shakir. Awesome. And then my defense player, this guy held down the fort, if you will, all season long. He was dealing with Dorian Williams next to him, Baylon Spector a few games here and there next to him. Matt Loudon come back to week 13. That's none other than star middle linebacker, one of the most underrated linebackers and players in general in the league, in my opinion, Terrell Bernard. Stats: 104 tackles, 1 sack, 1 fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, 3 pass deflections, and 13 run stuffs. He's one of the few players like on this team that doesn't miss tackles, him and Christian Benford. Unfortunately, the Bills have like a pandemic or epidemic, or whatever you call it, of guys that, like, the whole freaking defense misses tackles. Don't ask me why or how that works, but they just do. And Terrell Bernard, even more impressive. He didn't have Matt Milano. He had to deal with all those changing of the guard, if you will, next to him, and linebackers next to him. And he had no D lineman to help him, and he's also a very extremely undersized linebacker. So Mr. Consistency Award for offense goes to Khalil Shakir. Mr. Consistency Award for defense goes to Terrell Bernard. Next, Mixed Feelings Award. This is a guy that sometimes I like, sometimes I don't like. Some days he's really good. Some days he has some flashes. Some days he's really subpar. That is wide receiver, 2nd round pick, Keon Coleman. He had 29 receptions for 556 yards and 4 touchdowns. He provides really nice yards after catch, but I really want to see him dominate on those in cuts, those quick slants, those in breakers, those layup throws for Josh Allen. He's supposed to be this guy that has ball skills in the air, contested catch savant. Am I using that word right? Contested, I think so. If not, let me know. Contested catch savant, attacks the ball in midair, and very reliable hands. And I saw some really concerning things watching the tape, watching Game of Thrones eyeballs live. It's just he had a bunch of drops. It was clear and stuff. He had a bunch of drops He didn't attack the ball with tenacity. Like, I hate receivers, especially guys that are known to be jump off specialists like Keon Coleman, that just run the route, turn around, make about face, and say, "Throw me the ball," and then expect to have the ball float to them like they deserve it. Like, no, go. I've said this multiple times last week on the pod, whatever. Go on around the slice. Go attack the ball mid-air, dude. Don't wait for it to come. You go attack it with tenacity, with force. One, you'll hopefully catch it. But two, if you don't catch it, hopefully the ref will see that and throw a PI flag if you fight through that contact and on your front side. So, yeah, unfortunately, I have some mixed feelings about Keon Coleman. Fan favorite award. This guy just gets the juices flowing. Life of the party, every social media post, every video, everything he says. That is none other than Mr. Mack Hollins himself. With all the, guys, he showed up to the Chiefs game dressed as Animal from the Muppets. What? Who the hell dresses like that? Mack Hollins does, I guess. But it started in training camp with the whole, I let my feet breathe. I don't wear shoes. They're too restricting. I don't use utensils with food because I want to warm up my hands for my metabolism. I eat with my hands, and just all the weird, quirky stuff, the outfits he wore during the season. It's not like this guy was some like big goof at 6'4", just walking around with some big like fan favorite doofus that just like pleases the crowd. Like, he had legit stats, like 31 receptions, 378 receiving yards, and 5 touchdowns. Like, Josh Allen trusts him on key third downs and key red zone trips and appearances. So, man, I love me some Mack Hollins. Anyway, so fan favorite. Make this might sound kind of out there, but makes me punch a hole in the wall award. What guy makes me punch a hole, or at least like not literally punch a hole in the wall? That would be stupid. Makes me want to punch a hole in the wall award. Like, this guy annoys me to no end. I already said I'm very much looking forward to him being released. You know by now, it's Von Miller, 17 tackles, 6 sacks. What, I know he's suspended for 4 games this year, but what in God's name is he on this team for anymore? I don't know. So he really makes me punch a hole in the wall. 2 left feet award. This is a really harsh name for this award, but like, I don't care. This is a player that every time he's called upon, every time he's on the field, he just seems to disappoint and seems to be a complete disaster. 2 left feet award is because he has 2 left feet. He doesn't know what's going on ever. He just looks totally overwhelmed. And that is the 4G Kyrie Elam. 26 tackles this year, 1 fumble recovery, 2 pass deflections, and 1 run stuff. 2 left feet award. Every time he's on the field, it looks like he's never played football before in his life. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. So he's gone this offseason trade. Least valuable player. This player, I cannot understand for the life of me why Baylon Spector is on this team. Holy Lord. Holy God. Why is he on this team? Every time he plays, he gets injured. Oh, my hamstring. Oh, my calf. He can't even go to the grocery store. Can't even get up in the morning without getting injured and pulling some stupid hamstring or calf crap. Every time he gets on field, injured. Every time he goes off IR, he'll play a game, then get injured again. He's always on IR. He's been in the league for 3 years, and he's been on IR like 4 or 5 times. It's quite ridiculous. I'd rather take a shot on a late-round linebacker again, or see how Eddie Lufocio and Joe Andreessen develop. Buffalo Joe. Just enough of this Baylon Spector crap. His stats, yeah, woohoo. 40 tackles, 1.5 sacks, 1 fumble recovery, 2 run stuff. This actually annoys me why he's still on this team. Most improved player. Just this player is not even most improved. It's just a player I wasn't expecting much from. I'll admit. Ty Johnson, like 41 carries, 213 rushing yards, 5.2 yards per carry. That's an amazing yards per carry. 1 rushing touchdown, 18 receptions, 284 receiving yards, 3 receiving touchdowns. Key rotational piece. Unfortunately, I don't think he'll be back this offseason, chasing a bigger role, but we enjoyed him for what he was. Unsung Hero Award, Alec Anderson. Like, people, like, this isn't some revelation. It just happened in the playoffs. Like, people act like it. Like, the Bills have been utilizing this 6th offensive lineman / insert blocker before. Like, they've used it with Tommy Doyle. They used it with fan favorite. Not fan favorite. I'm just joking. Bobby Hart. David Edwards last year in 2023. I think Alec Anderson is by far the best of that bunch. And Alec Anderson is a key utility blocker for this team. Con Man Award. This is a player that we were expecting one thing from. He promised that he was going to do one thing, and then he totally disappointed and just totally made an about face and didn't do anything. Curtis Samuel, 31 receptions, 253 receiving yards, 1 touchdown, 5 carries, 14 yards. He had a pretty nice playoffs, like all things considered. Broncos, Ravens, Chiefs, especially the Broncos with that game-sealing touchdown to put us up 3 scores and officially like put them in a death coffin. Excuse me, rather. But yeah, Curtis Samuel most part disappointing. I don't care if he heated up in the playoffs for regular season, disappointing. Those are all the awards. That's my favorite part of the show every single year. Great tradition. Best moments of the year. I just no particular order of importance or significance or nothing like that. I just have a handful of moments that were awesome. Just look back on these 2024 Buffalo Bills moments. Jamarcus Ingram's pick 6 week 2 versus Dolphins. He had 2 picks in that game, 1 pick 6 in that obliteration. That was awesome. The start of this is personal funny thing. The start of Mr. Brightside at Highmark Stadium week 3 versus the Jaguars. Early quarter 4 break. It's awesome. Like everyone gets hyped. The players get into it. Josh Allen, kind of serious, maybe not, but you get into it eventually. Other players get into it. Matt Collins and Sledge are mainly up there singing and dancing. Dustin Knox, Dalton Kincaid, just the whole crew. It's really awesome. Taron Johnson's game-sealing interception week 6 versus the Jets. I don't care if Mike Williams ran the wrong route. Just like Taron Johnson plucked it over his head midair, mossed him with an interception. Tyler Bass's 61-yard game-winning field goal week 9 versus Dolphins. Like, that's significant. Like, he was struggling before that. Josh Allen's game-winning touchdown run week 11 versus the Chiefs. I will never forget Jim Nance's call on that. Allen takes the snap, going to his left, going to his right, 4th and 2. Oh, the play of the year! The Bills play of the year! As he rushes in the end zone. Man, that got adrenaline flowing that day, boy. Woo! That was something. And then Amari Cooper's pitch back to Josh Allen for the touchdown week 13 versus 49ers. I was like, can they do that? Was that by the line? My dad said the same thing. He was like, Aiden, what just happened? I said, I don't know. They replayed it. Touchdown. Receiving for Josh Allen. And then this was extra sweet. Letting the Patriots win in week 18, causing them to lose control of the first overall pick. They would have got Travis Hunter first overall, guaranteed. Now they might just get like Mason Graham or something. Still elite talent, but like blue chip of all blue chip prospects and Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter. Probably Travis Hunter. First overall. So that was cool, letting them win, lose control of that. Next, whoops, my notes here are most frustrating moments of the year. Allowing Derrick Henry, literally they're above an 80-yard touchdown run on literally the very first play of the game, week 4 versus the Ravens, and after that, the game script went very badly for us, as we know. Sean McDermott and Joe Brady's coaching malpractice and blunders at the very end of the game, week 5 versus Texans. You know, the run plays too conservative, allowing overtime, shouldn't have been overtime. And then allowing Aaron Rodgers to connect on a Hail Mary attempt right before halftime, week 6 versus Jets. Sean McDermott and Bobby Babich were very stupid. Bobby Babich, I'm sorry, but like he only rushed 2 and dropped 9 in coverage. You don't need to only rush 2 and drop that many in coverage. People say, well, how'd you stop Hail Mary? It's just luck. By blitzing the ever-loving crap out of the quarterback. Throw the kitchen sink at them on potential Hail Mary attempts. Because if they can't get the ball off, can't see, then they won't get the ball off. It's that simple. And then, once again, failing to go over the hump once again. Sick of talking about it. It's just is what it is at this point. And then dedication and team player award. As long as he's on this team, which I fear he might not be for much longer because of free agency, but player and team dedication. Wait, hold on. Dedication and team player award, I officially called it. Safety, DeMar Hamlin. His stats were pretty impressive this year, guys. 89 tackles, 1 fumble recovery, 2 interceptions, 5 pass deflections, 4 run stops. So anyways, that is officially the Buffalo Bills 2024 season review show. We went through position grades, some awards, some cool moments, some frustrating moments, some positive awards, some more negatively skewed awards, unfortunately. But this was awesome. Like, this season was incredible for the Buffalo Bills, silencing all the doubters, for this podcast, for me personally, for On the Slice. This was awesome. That will do it. That's a wrap on our Bills 2024 season content, in-season content in this review. It's over. Now, I love the season, honestly. But now we're going to arguably my favorite. Actually, it is my favorite time of the year. Free agency, the draft. I'm just like my nerdy brain loves cap and stuff and free agency. So like I love team building. Like it could be the biggest play in the world, smallest play in the world. I don't care. I love how players what they need to build the roster, what they pay them, different contracts. I love roster building philosophies. Love staying in the NFL in that capacity. So this is going to be if I'm rambling on here, it is because it's just going to be an awesome off season. I can't wait to spend it with you guys here on Around the Slice. Here are the plans for the show. We're going to be back Monday and Friday, every Monday and Friday with Around the Slice. Maybe every Wednesday, bring it back to Around the Slice Fantasy Football Show. Final details come on that. But every Monday and Friday here on Around the Slice. And for immediate plans in a few days on Monday, February 10th, we are going to be going over the Bills' internal free agents and going through the logistics of how much could they resign for, who should they resign, who should Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott not resign, who should they let walk, all of that fun stuff. This season's been incredible. The review show today has been incredible. I cannot wait for roster building stuff, free agency, draft. I mean, draft is football Christmas for me. So, yeah, I mean, this is going to be awesome. Many special guest opportunities over the offseason. It's going to be spectacular. Anyways, guys, you can watch or listen to this podcast on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts. I promise you that I will be very active on Twitter, as I am every single year for the past 4 or 5 years, with my immediate reactions to contracts and free agency and stuff. At A13, you can follow the show on Twitter at Around Slice. This was awesome. Thank you guys so much for being with me this whole season. Thank you so much for this review show. Extended review show, and I just can't wait for the coming months. It's going to be incredible if I keep saying that because I truly appreciate all of you guys for the support. Thank you for this. On that note, thank you for the support as always. As I said, we'll be back on Monday, February 10th for some internal Bills, roster building stuff, and internal free agent decisions. I'll see you then. Have a great weekend, great day whenever you're watching this. Appreciate all of you. Bye.